So this one was, Claire did a happy fragrances kind of video, Dr. Claire's Perfumes a while back. Generally it's one we do together, but I love the way she did it so much that I think I thought I'd steal it, because, you know, it's what we do. Given I've just done a happy fragrances video, you just have to wait and see what the title's called, because I don't know at this moment of filming. And it's one that won't be out for a while, I suppose, anyway. So yeah, it's just a video of these kinds of fragrances. I like it. I could call it my life of fragrances, couldn't I? Somewhat. Who knows, there's no point waffling on. It doesn't need to be excessively long, this. It's a video of stuff that I stole from Dr. Claire Perfumes. Let's call it a tag. Makes me seem less steely, doesn't it? So first up on Claire's little listy thing there was I got a fragrance of comfort. Now these are ones that kind of, you know, we wear when we're feeling a little bit sad or a little bit, you know, tired, maybe a bit poorly. Just one that's like a little, wraps its arms around you and makes you feel, you know, relaxed and comforted, obviously. What I've gone for there is actually Kayali's vanilla, whatever it is. Because I don't own a lot of vanillas, and it's not really a kind of type of fragrance that I wear often. It's not a note I love, because probably because primarily of this reason. It's just a kind of, it's not really a perfume, it's a chill thing, isn't it? It's a comfort blanket. It's wrapping that cozy thing round you. And Kayali's vanilla is kind of, it is what it says on the tin, really. It's basically like a cozy cakey vanilla, you know. You just put the vanilla in the oven, the cake's in the oven, and they're just coming out all freshly cooked, and that vanilla coziness, I don't know, it takes us back to childhood a bit, doesn't it? It's also got like a kind of resinous quality about it. It's like a richness there. There's a very soft, gentle muskiness. But it is what it is. It is basically just vanilla. I believe it's obviously meant to be for layering and stuff. But if you're feeling a bit down and you just want something, you know, to snuggle, you may spray your bed with it. It's a kind of snuggle one, isn't it? So that's Kayali's vanilla. Next is a summertime one. And I'm not really much of a summer person. In fact, I quite hate the season, to be honest with you. The flowers are nice, and I suppose it's nice to get a bit of blue sky and light, but it's just too hot and it's miserable and it's grim and what have you. And I've done recently a few summer ones, but one I didn't mention is Guerlain's Terracotta, not Caratotta, Terracotta, which is one of them, you know, that we traditionally call a beachy one, because it's got this kind of coconutty thing, although I don't think there's coconut in it. It's softly kind of sweet and fruity, although again I can't off the top of my head remember any fruits in it. But it's I think it's frangipani and not tiari, one of them two or both, and it kind of has that lovely kind of slight suntan lotion feel, but it's predominantly just a soft tropical floral. It's one that makes you feel a bit kind of summery and warm, and again, if you're going to a really nice beach, relaxed and peaceful, isn't it? It's got that kind of warm summer sun on you. These florals tend to do it. There might be a bit of gardenia in it as well, which gives it kind of a richness, and obviously there's some woods. Again, I should really look at the notes. I'm just remembering what I smell, so you know, it is what it is. But yeah, it's lovely, and it's done in that, because it's an older Guerlain one, pre-LVMH. It's not a kind of, let's put it this way, they're getting more and more on the synthetic side of smelling, aren't they? Now I've got issues with synthetics, I'm sure they used to be, but didn't used to smell quite that way. So it is fairly, it's not delicate, It is quite a big one you can smell, but it's just calming and smooth and does literally take you there. And it was it's in the more affordable ranges. The Terracotta is quite a popular one, isn't it, as well, for all them reasons mentioned above. It's a classic for a reason. So for summertime is Guerlain's Terracotta. Next is Nostalgia. Taking you back to good old days and good times and stuff. What's interesting about this is it is going to be one of the ones you think I'm going to mention. It's going to be dupe or some sort of Mugler, or I don't know, maybe Burberry Touch. Yeah, you're right. It's I'm going to go for Alien. Now this takes me back a long time, really. And when it came out, was it? It's the late 2000s, wasn't it? I don't know specifically when. Maybe mid to late 2000s, actually. But anyway, it does take me back to days of being younger. I can't remember. I've finished uni, I think, by the time this came out. So it's more them early days of working, them early days of being an adult, a real adult. Having to. Well, you still have to pay your bills and stuff, but got out to work, and I had a couple of jobs. Hated the companies and stuff, but I enjoyed what I did. There were always jobs helping people, basically, being useful. Yes, it made a rich person who owned a company, and a company very rich, taking taxpayers' money. I despise the company, but you know what I mean. I didn't blooming care. I got to actually help people and make a difference to people's lives and make them better. And it's rare nowadays to get a job where you can actually do that, isn't it? It's all about making rich people richer and exploiting people. I wasn't really down with the company's policies and not spending too much time helping them or writing people off. That wasn't my thing. But Alien at that time, apart from it being just a quite extraordinarily wonderful fragrance, that you didn't smell too much, actually. It was one that didn't probably immediately take off, but my god, it made the world better. And when you were walking around or you're going out after work and stuff, it was just amazing. And obviously this fragrance has got a lot of kind of meaning and what have you to me, but to take me back to a time when I did something worthwhile and wasn't all about making money for other people. It's kind of special. And then first years of you being an adult early on and stuff were really kind of important as well, weren't they? So yeah, that's for Nostalgia's Mugler's Alien. Now holidays is perhaps a tricky one for me. I've been away many times in this country, obviously with your parents, and then as we get older with my friends and stuff. I've had crazy lads holidays, and you've been away with partners and stuff. Now what I'm going to use is an aftershave, not so much a kind of perfume, if you like. It was a very specific aftershave that took me back to this time, and I must have been 17, 18, I can't remember, but it was kind of my first holiday away from my parents, and me and my friends went to the Lake District, which is part of the UK but has lots of lakes, and we went to the place, I think Beatrix Potter Museum's there and that, and it was a very typical kind of teenage lads holiday. We had like Ace of Base, Life is a Flower playing on a loop and stuff like that, and we'd go out and we'd drink in some expensive pubs. We'd go to the club on the evening and stuff. It was a really nice holiday and that, but the thing that kind of takes me back there and makes it, I suppose, still special was Lynx's Apollo. Now it's Axe in other countries and stuff, and I think it was always called Apollo either way. That came back recently, didn't it? But it's not the same. And obviously teenage boys, they all wear Lynx. But I also had the aftershave, so I'd literally reek of the stuff, spraying it all over me, and the aftershave as well. I couldn't wear the popular one, which was Africa, because for some reason that brought me out in a rash, so I suppose I stood out slightly. I did have my dupe back then, but the specific smell of the, you know, the little flat and stuff where we stayed, the little holiday place, was just Lynx. All these mixes of the Lynxes, and probably, I'd say mine probably stood out because there wasn't bloody much of it. But it just takes you back there. What does Apollo smell of? Now, I suppose I'd never really thought about it. It's sweet. I couldn't tell you the notes. I'm not even going to pretend. I'm not going to look them up because, you know, it was just an experience, that smell. If I smelt it now, I could smell it, you know, and instantly recognise it. But it takes me back to that youth, that kind of fun, the not having any commitments or pressures or, you know, worrying about paying bills or life. We were at college and I think it was probably the year we went to uni, so that was kind of the thing, and it was a last chance to all be together and go out, and we just had a great time, really. Got up to all sorts of mischief, obviously, but yeah. And this has been a very long subject. You could have put this in nostalgia, but specifically it reminds me of my first holiday as a sort of grown-up, and that's Lynx's Apollo. Next up is Friendship, and I like this one because it could be a few fragrances. And this is not like, you know, you're picking favourites from this kind of community and stuff. And I could have gone for honourable mention to Love and Tears, which was from Carl, which possibly was the first kind of random present I got from someone on here. Now, Love and Tears is a heavenly Killian. It's so very natural. It's jasmine and it's lily of the valley, which kind of sort of makes it into a jasmine soliflor. The lily of the valley just adds the bit of greenness and a bit more texture to the jasmine. Anyway, that was that one. But what I'm going to go for this kind of section is, obviously, you know, I've been here a while, and so is Rose and Jones, Lizzie, both, like, probably my oldest, closest friends. Again, Matt Calder-Sense as well will go there as my oldest one, who's still kind of around. But yeah, Lizzie, and one of the first things I bought off Lizzie, weirdly, I'm not going for a present, I'm going for one I bought off her, was Noir de Noir from Tom Ford. Now, we all know how much I adore this fragrance and how it's a very me fragrance. Again, I've kind of ruined one of the questions because I could have gone for this. But yeah, it's a very me fragrance, and it's very adorable and dark, and we know what it is: dark rose, red wine, patchouli, kind of a mushroomy truffliness in there, kind of chocolateness, dark, seductive, and all of that. It's very beautiful. But the fact that I got it off Lizzie just adds that little bit of specialness to it, and it's hard to believe that 4, 5, have I been about here, 6 years, whatever, however many years later, we're still just as kind of close friends. You know, you're just kind of on someone's wavelength. Now, me and Lizzie are very different. We have different tastes in perfume, very different tastes. We have very different beliefs about the world as well. We like some of the same TV programmes and that, and we have the same humour, and we're still on like a wavelength despite being so different. You know, I'm a pauper, she's a princess kind of thing. I'm from the north, she's from the south. Despite all this, we do just seem to really get on. And this fragrance, Lizzie's not the first thing in my mind when I spray it, obviously, but it just adds to that. Another reason, another layer as to why I love this fragrance so much. So yeah, for Friendship is Noir de Noir from Tom Ford. Now, next on the list is Baking, which I've you know, I'm changing to Walking, because I suspect baking and walking are kind of the same thing, the same reason Claire kind of picked it. It's a very comforting thing that Claire does to space out, and obviously you know, you get your rewards of some fine baking from it. But truth be told, I'd have picked another vanilla, so I'm going to go for walking. And it's not going to be a surprise, this one that I'm going to put in here, and it's actually a discontinued one now from One Way Bridge, which makes this again a particularly special one, and it was the first one I got from them. And it's Polly, which ultimately smells of greenness, pure greenness. Now, there's a lot of New Zealand notes in there, which I couldn't really tell you what they are, but it smells basically of like a forest walk or a walk through a meadow. It's got these kind of dry floral feels. It's got the very grassy things about it. Maybe there's violet leaf, galbanum, or some equivalent in there. And it just smells of like summer, spring meadows and just the countryside and stuff. And obviously, originally I am a country boy. I'm from the kind of Peak District, which is just rugged hills, mountains, trees, rivers. There's lots of water there and that. And this is what the fragrance smells of. It just takes me back home. Again, to young, good days of walking and trundling about and, you know, playing in the fields and stuff, playing football. Also, as I've got older. But just pre-COVID, I used to do walks, but COVID, it was that escape, it was that getting close to nature, it was getting the fresh air and feeling good. And Polly does all these things. And again, it has the added bonus that it's the first one from a brand I absolutely adore and love. So that's for walking is Polly's One Way Bridge. Sorry, One Way Bridge, Polly. Now, the next one is a weird one. It's homegrown fruit. Again, I can't remember what Claire said. It's about a month after this, because you know me, I'm slow. And I imagine that's got the kind of nostalgia thing about it as well. And I thought, should I make this something different? No, because I kind of get this one. Back in the old days, people used to grow all sorts of things in their gardens. I remember we had blackberries, raspberries, blackcurrants, and things like that. Now, I like all of these in fragrance, but the one I've gone for is actually blackcurrants. And oddly, I'm going to go for, I suspect Claire mentioned Found at Dusk, which I could have gone for, but I'm going to go for Amouage's Amouage's Imitation. And now this is again licorice, places I've been brought up in as well. Licorice has been a big part of it. Now there's a dry licorice through it. I know that's not a fruit, but also it's predominantly really about the blackcurrant and that kind of sharp green juicy darkness about it. The green is very much, I don't know if, well, people have smelled blackcurrant bushes before, like raspberry bushes. The leaves and stuff are very prominent smelling as well. They're not quite as minty as like a raspberry one, but they have this kind of specific greenness which goes in with this fragrance, and obviously them juicy blackcurrants. Maybe, you know, it's thinking back, maybe it's why I quite like, you know, so-called pissy fragrances, because again, a blackcurrant bush does have that little bit of a vibe about it, in fairness. So maybe that's why I like it. It just takes me back. So yeah, for outdoor homegrown kind of fruit is definitely going to be Imitation. Also to mention to it, it's got quite a resinous touch. It's warm. It's quite big, but it has a certain freshness and it does take you back to them times. So yeah, that's Amouage's Imitation. Now, Certainty is an interesting one for this. Now, I'm going to say it will be my early days of work, and my work fragrance was actually Hugo Boss's Hugo, I think it was. I will find the picture. I had a limited edition one, doesn't matter, it still smells the same. The picture of it, and I went through a phase of owning quite a few Hugo Boss ones. Now, I actually think this was also a gift from someone at work. I'm pretty sure it was. which is a very generous gift, but she was a great lass. But this one is, the best way to describe it, there's about 1 billion listed notes. There's a little bit of a citrusy touch to it, but it's got this kind of, this is pre-blue fragrances by the way, but it had that kind of watery blueness about it, probably from the fruits and stuff. And it also had a little kind of aromatic touch, and then the woods were quite clean and crisp. And it always makes me, what I remember specifically about it is it was slightly a watery, aquatic feeling, but obviously very classy and very elegant, very much of its time. But this is what you'll find with Hugo Boss. Well, Boss used to be a great brand for stuff like, nowadays, you know, they're owned by whoever, they probably were then, but the fragrances are less interesting and less standout. It's just a very classy, easygoing fragrance, which was perfect for work, and it did give me this kind of confidence and stability and stuff. I felt like I knew what I was talking about. I was quite young with this job, and it was quite a big job. It's what I mentioned earlier. It was this specific one was helping people and getting people much older than me back into work, or getting them the right help to be able to take the next steps. It's addicts, ex-offenders, people who just needed a chance in life. So this fragrance gave me that, I don't remember how old I was, mid-20s. It just gave me that confidence to feel I knew what I was talking about, and that they could trust me and, you know, listen to me and respect that I knew what I was talking about and stuff like that. So it kind of, it's very much a one that fits that perfectly. So that's Hugo Boss's Hugo. Now for surprise, I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to go for a brand rather than a specific fragrance. And this is obviously surprise just how much I've grown to love it, and I actually have quite a lot in my collection now from this brand. But when you're young, okay, I've always said I bought a Chanel Allure Homme because my lecturer wore it, and back in the day when it first came out, oh, it was good. It was resinous, it was kind of peachy, so it's got all that Chanel DNA about it, and it was really good. But all the others, like, these are the days where your mind's quite closed to what's around you, because you follow them labels and that stupid marketing crap that goes on. So I hadn't really smelt any of the so-called female marketed ones, which work just as well on a bloke. Obviously knew of Chanel No. 5. Now I do adore that this day, but you always think when you're young that Chanel's for a more mature person. I don't mean a grandma fragrance or whatever, because that's really offensive, isn't it? But it's the fact that they were for a more mature sort of person, which I suppose I am now, so I suppose it wouldn't be a surprise, but whatever. But the kind of popular ones going through them years was like Chanel Allure Homme Sport, Allure Homme Sport Extreme or whatever it was, Bleu de Chanel. They're garbage. They're just tedious garbage, just generic nothing. So the fact that Chanel has kind of ended up as one of my favourite brands is a massive surprise. I even like, I'm trying to think what I've tried. Is Jersey a Chanel? Yes, it is, isn't it? And some other kind of classic ones. Yeah, where was I going with that? Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm surprised I've liked Egoist and stuff. I even own which is kind of a classic, you know, aromatic one, and I even own a number 19, a little partial of it, and it's really green and I really love it. So yeah, Chanel is the biggest surprise to me. And again, we all know my taste, but it's just, they're so well done, and because they're still independent, they haven't gone down the Cashmere and Ambroxan route in a major way yet. I'm sure it'll to come, but they're just really good fragrances, and that as a brand I'd say is a surprise to me. How the hell am I going to get through here? So yeah, surprise is Chanel. And finally is Being Me, which is actually quite a hard one to pick, isn't it, really? You think maybe Dupont, maybe Noir de Noir, but no, I'm going to go for obviously a floral one, because florals are very me, aren't they, really? At the moment, I'd say the one that's very me is Cartier's I'm struggling to get through here, sorry. Is Cartier's Baiser Volè, which is kind of this, basically it's a lily solid floor. Now, I have mentioned this probably in every single video recently because it was a present from Claire, but it is very much me. It's very floral. Obviously lily is up there with one of my favourite florals. So yeah, not violet, not jasmine, not tuberose, but lily. And it's just got loads of lily. It's got the pepperiness, it's got the muskiness, it's got that kind of caramel touch, it's got the big thick florals, it's got that kind of green freshness in it. And I think very much at the moment it is a very me one. It's very musky, it's very chilled, it's very just, I wouldn't say, you know, who in life can say that they're happy and whatnot, and you don't really want to because you're going to curse it. Content. It's just got that feeling when you put it on of like, it's beautiful, it's green, it's peaceful, it's outdoorsy one. And I think it kind of, at this moment in time, is one that is very me. You know, kind of delicate, thoughtful, calm and peaceful despite everything in the world going on and what's going on in my life at the moment. It just, yeah, it's calming and lovely. So that's Baiser Volè, or Voila, I don't know. It's just how I'm going to say it, alright? From Cartier. So yeah, that's it. I really enjoyed this not tag but stolen video from Claire. The little other things that I wouldn't normally think of putting in a video and stuff. I think people should do this as a tag from Claire, because it's a really clever idea and it makes you think of all these different things, and it's not one of them bloody question videos. So yeah, what about you? What takes you to some of these kind of moods and places and parts of your life? Do fragrances represent different parts of you and different times in your life and feelings and all of that? Alright, don't need to waffle on, it's got really hot. Bye.